following podcast contains references to the consumption of alcohol. If you are not of legal drinking age, please do not consume alcohol. Also, if you are of legal drinking age, please drink responsibly.
Hi, welcome to Rhetorical Magic Cocktail Hour. My name is Ryan, and my favorite Thanksgiving side is green beans.
Ooh, and I'm Matthew, and my favorite Thanksgiving side is green bean casserole.
I was about to say casserole, but I didn't know if that was like too Midwestern.
I mean, we are Midwestern.
That's fair. I like green bean casserole so much that, like, outside of Thanksgiving in my last grocery haul, I definitely got all the stuff to make it just for funsies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely grown on me as
Okay.
I've gotten older, because when I was younger, stuffing was my favorite, but that's just because it's bread with some spices on it. But the older I've gotten, the more I was like, oh, green bean casserole kind of fucks, dude.
Green bean casserole, it kind of fucks.
Kind of fucks.
Do you
But yeah.
do, like, the, like, all pre-made, or do you guys do from scratch?
Tradition has it that you have to use, like, canned cream of mushroom soup and, like, green beans and the prepackaged, like, crispy onion bits.
Mm-hmm.
Throw that in an oven and, baby, you got casserole. A Midwestern delicacy.
Yes, I've had both. I've had many variations of
Mm-hmm.
green bean casserole. The one my family subscribes to is we use a can of golden mushroom soup.
Oh, what does that mean?
It's a little bit... It's like cream of mushroom, but in my family's opinion, better.
Huh. Does it have, like, little bits of gold flake, like Goldschlager? And that's why it's golden?
No, it's like... I don't know,
Is it-
it's like
is it-
beefier, maybe?
Is it sort of like, instead of, for lack of a better term, being like a white gravy, it's more like a brown gravy
Yeah,
sort of situation, sort of moment?
yeah.
Yeah.
Next time we hang out, I'll make you green bean casserole the way my family does, and you can tell me if it's gross or not.
Okay. I mean, it sounds good. It sounds like a little extra, like, umami pop in there.
Yeah, for sure. But I've had like the traditional, like, pre-made version, and then when I was in undergrad, I was like president of our local, or of our school chapter of our, like, LGBT organization, and one of the, like, events that we would do is we would do, like, a Thanksgiving, because, you know, LGBT people might not get to hang out with their family, and we would, like, and professors would kind of, like, come and bring dishes, and, like, it was like a big potluck type thing. And a professor brought green bean casserole, but they, like, made everything from scratch.
Impossible.
I mean, they didn't, like, grow the green beans themselves, but they used, like, fresh green beans. They made their own cream of mushroom soup, which, like, logically, I understand is something you can do. I understand that but it seems so intensive, and you could tell he put so much love into it, and it was so nice. But instead of the French fried onions, they used cashews.
Oh.
Which,
Huh.
it was non-traditional, but it was delicious, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I could see how that would, like, add the same sort of experience as crispy onions, but I don't think if you're expecting crispy onions, it would hit the same.
It was nice. It was lovely. It was a beautiful dish. I don't remember the professor who made it, but they were very sweet, and one of several who would come and support kids, which I think was really good.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Need more of that in the world.
We do. But we're not just talking about Thanksgiving and Ryan's college memories. We're also a podcast. What?
What?
Yep.
We are?
Yep. This is a podcast.
Oh, no.
And we like to have a drink. And then we like to try and be succinct about various things. So, Matthew, what are we drinking tonight?
So, we are getting a little basic.
Mm-hmm.
And we're both drinking a Pinot Grigio. Though different brands.
Yes.
We're getting a little whiny tonight. That sounds.
I mean, we might. I feel like I could whine a little bit. No, we're actually kind of, in a way, going back to our roots, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
So, originally, I don't know if our listeners know, this wasn't the OG idea for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We did come up with a different concept. It wasn't like we reinvented the wheel when we started doing Rhetorical Magic. But it did have a different vibe, and it did have a different outfit?
Wardrobe? Uniform.
There we go.
It was a highly classified military podcast where we were ranks. Not really. That wasn't even a good joke. I'm so sorry.
No,
I just became aware this is a podcast and we need to do good jokes.
Oh man, but I like all the bad jokes we've done for like the last 2.5 years.
Oof. That's a long time. But yeah, I think we've kind of referenced it in the past. But yeah.
Kind of is like a he who must not be named fuck turfs, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
The podcast of yesteryear that we just don't talk about. Rhetorical Magic is like the cool in their head ant.
Rhetorical Magic is vodka ant, and then Kigurumi Wine Club is the wine ant.
The wine ant who like purposefully ruins like vodka ant might ruin a holiday, but in like a fun, whimsical way.
It's gonna be a fun way. It's gonna be a fun ride to get there.
Wine Ant's old podcast was gonna like ruin Christmas and like there's probably gonna be a divorce soon, kind of a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little heavy, like just not light, airy fun that we've kind of created over the years.
Not easy breezy beautiful.
Mm-mm. The previous podcast was No Cover Girl. I also like that we've gotten this long and still kind of haven't been naming it. Do you want to?
I think I said it. Did I?
I really don't think that we've said what it's called.
Okay, if we haven't, which you will know having listened to it, but we don't know in the moment, is Kigurumi Wine Club.
Yeah.
Which was a pre-being it a podcast was just like a thing we talked about doing and maybe had done a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we would basically wear kigurumis and drink some wine.
And that
was the club.
Because I feel like at that point, both of us were like, I want to be a real adult and I want to learn how to like wine. At least I was.
I want to be a real adult and learn to like wine while wearing onesie pajamas that look like animals.
And yeah, I think that we've done it twice. It's not something that's carried on. I think on some level we kind of just wanted an excuse to buy animal pajamas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I only remember it ever happening for sure once. But I think maybe it did happen twice and I just don't remember the second time.
Yeah, so I feel like it definitely happened twice. Once in my, like, dorm apartment.
That's the one I'm remembering.
And then, like, it happened, like, we did it again prior to recording at my first duplex, the shotgun apartment.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds familiar.
Because that was Chunky Wine Night.
Oh, I forgot about Chunky Wine. We had the chunkiest port, y'all.
My parents gifted me...
Is that unfiltered shit?
I want to say for graduating undergrad, they gifted it to me, and then we just didn't drink it for a few months.
Mm-hmm.
Until I, like, started grad school.
And then we were like, we're classy, we can drink port, we know what we're doing. And then
it went really, really well until we got to the end and realized it was unfiltered, because we were trying to learn how to drink wine, and that was a learning experience for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It was a delicious port, and if we'd filtered it, it would have been great.
I mean, I feel like the chunkiness just adds to the mythos. The chunky mythos of our wine journey.
I get that.
It was a beautiful experience. Since we're now adults and we do know about wine.
Do we?
Shh, they don't know. How's that Pinot Grigio treating you?
It's alright. I wasn't too sure of the sniff of it. Yep.
Mm-hmm. The nose.
Yeah. But once you get to sipping, it's pretty dang good. I think it could maybe be a little bit cooler. I did buy it like 2 hours ago and stick it in my fridge, so I just don't think that it got cold enough. But I would drink it again.
Yeah.
What about you? How's your Pinot Gris treating you?
It's really beautiful. There's a nice bouquet of pear and citrus.
Are you reading the back of the bottle?
No. But yeah, it's good. I like a nice dry wine. Mm-hmm. I think Pinot Grigio is sort of on the drier side of the whites. Do you go for more reds or whites when you partake in wine?
I go for white more often. I do prefer it on the drier side. When I first started drinking white, if it wasn't sweet, I probably wouldn't touch it, but I've evolved over the last few years.
You reached level 35 and you evolved into your second form.
Yeah, and I'm starting to appreciate red wines more, and I think that it is kind of just like as you get older.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of back on like the sweeter side of reds still. Like last time I went to my parents' place, I tried like this really dry Merlot, and it just kind of like sucked all the moisture out of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot to handle, but I'll get there.
Yeah, I feel like reds are kind of more challenging, for lack of a better word, than whites usually.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's something you gotta work up towards.
Yeah. But I enjoyed the port, which I would definitely say was like on the sweeter end.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And then really far on the chunky end.
It was the chunky peanut butter of wine.
Oh man. So what are we talking about this episode, Matt?
So, I think today we're gonna try to do what past Ryan and Matthew failed to do, and that is successfully talk about our friendship.
Okay.
In a podcast setting.
Yes. Oh man, thinking back. Okay, so that was supposed to be the first episode of Kigurumi Wine Club, right? Mm-hmm. Just to kind of give context.
Yeah, it was supposed to be about our friendship to kind of introduce us to the listeners.
Yes. And I would say originally it started out with roughly 15 minutes of unintelligible banter.
I mean, I would hazard a guess and say 20, but
And then after that 20 minutes, we're like, we've never said the name.
Yeah. Have you listened to it recently?
I did, and it was rough. I think that I got like halfway through it maybe, and then I had to, just from general stress.
stress and cringe.
We were very anxiety giving. I think the issue is that we were feral children.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think that a lot of it was we pre-gamed before, if I'm remembering the evening correctly.
Mm-hmm.
We pre-gamed before with, like, full cocktail and then shots.
Yeah, I think so.
And then we opened a bottle of wine.
Things that look like beakers.
Yeah, little test tube boys.
Yeah.
And then we opened a bottle of wine, drank some of it, and then started to record.
Mm-hmm. Because I think we finished it in episode, because I think I remember me saying, "Oh, the bottle's empty. That means the episode's over."
Which, honestly, I would kind of like to do that. Except this time we have our own bottle.
In theory, it's like a nice little episode ender. It's just like, oh, the bottle's empty. Time to go home.
Yeah.
And by home, I mean not anywhere, because...
And by home, I mean Ryan sleeping on Matthew's couch tonight.
Yeah. Which could not have been comfortable, because it's like a love seat at best.
It's not bad.
I've slept on it before, and I have to do it in like the fetal position while like halfway sitting up.
Yeah, but when you like drink, like, don't your joints get kind of like loose, so you kind of just become like extra bendy?
I don't know about bendy, but yeah, I definitely get a little loose with it. Loosey-goosey.
Loosey-goosey. So, yeah, I think we're gonna, 2.5 years later, probably closer to 3 at this point. We sat on Kigurumi Wine Club for a good hot minute before we tried to record again.
Yay, at least a year.
At least a year.
I think. I don't remember for sure.
So we'll say 3 years later, we're gonna try again. And
I think it was whenever the Jonas Brothers were getting back together, because we did talk about the Jonas Brothers a lot. To
be fair, you put enough alcohol in me, and I'm probably gonna talk about the Jonas Brothers. But that does sound right in my head, which would have been, 2018?
That sounds right.
If we're wrong, please don't correct us.
Let us live in our what do I want to say? Ignorance.
But yeah, so about 3 to, I guess, 4-ish years, 3.5 to 4 years later, we're gonna try again.
Yeah.
We're gonna chat about our friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess reintroduce ourselves to the world?
I guess so. I don't know. I didn't really think about that part of it. Yeah. I thought of something to say, but now it's gone.
What you did think of was, hello world, we're your wild girl, we're your cherry bomb.
Oh.
Because I watched The Runaways again.
So this is our episode about The Runaways. Do we want to start off with a little Matthew and Ryan origins?
Yes.
The podcast begins.
It was a dark and spooky night.
Ooh.
No. So I think that I first became aware of you, like, we went to the same school system our whole lives.
Our entire school.
Yeah. Matthew is like 1 year, and at the time a grade older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the first time that I became aware of you as a person was probably middle school.
Do you remember what it was that made you aware of me? Or was it just that middle school was so much smaller than elementary school?
I do remember what it was. I had read Twilight, and I had, like, jokingly convinced myself you were a vampire.
Ooh. For the listeners at home, I'm very pale.
Yeah, that was kind of like the first time that I became aware of you, because Twilight was like a thing, and
you just saw me walk in the halls and was like, oh shit,
it's
a vampire.
Here it comes. Yeah, I feel like that's like my first like memory of you, question mark. I don't know. My mom, like, we went through old pictures. It's been a hot minute, but there's like a picture of me and like a bunch of other people from your grade. Like, they graduated the same year as you.
In elementary school?
Like, when I was in preschool.
Yeah. I have those pictures too, where it's just like, why are we all in the same room together? These are like 3 different grades.
So that was interesting. So, like, I'm sure at some point we definitely met before that, but my first memory of you was, like, reading Twilight and then seeing you, because you were in school, you were quiet and broody and pale.
Yeah.
Which at the time, Stephanie Meyer was just like, anybody like that? Fucking vampire.
They a vampire. Yeah, we must have been, I assume, since our sisters are both in the same grade.
They graduated the same year is how I would like to phrase it, because we were we were well past high school.
Our sisters were in the same grade. But it's what I should have said. I think I said R. But so I assume we were at like functions together a lot. Just like not like interacting directly.
Yeah.
Did your sister play like sports or anything?
My sister and your sister did volleyball together.
Okay. I don't remember volleyball at all. So, I mean, I assume I was there. I just don't remember it.
The only reason I know that is because the only reason I have any recognition of that is because my mom used to talk about how she and your dad used to like score keep together. Like, she would run the board and he would keep score on paper or something.
I don't remember that at all. It's weird that before you and I interacted, your mom and my dad interacted.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's been foretold that our families will interact.
We're destined to be friends. But again, we did go to the same school system our whole lives. Mm-hmm. There were not many people in our school.
Yeah, it was real small school. But yeah, I feel like I probably had a passing awareness of your existence, but I don't think I really interacted with you that I remember till like high school, junior year.
For sure.
For me, so sophomore year for you.
Yeah, that always throws me off because, like, yes. Because my husband's like, no, I was still, like, a little high schooler. But I was, because I was...
You were a sophomore.
Yeah.
Yeah, the earliest memory I have of you is... I don't know that we interacted directly, but I remember we were doing one acts. Mm-hmm. And you were in one of the one acts, and I got to go because I was in theater, even though I wasn't in the play. Mm-hmm. Which was the best part of high school. Going to one acts when I was never in them. Because it would just be like, free day. I get to watch some shitty high school one acts. But yeah, I remember you being in one acts. And then we went to journalism/mass media together. I think I said mash media.
Yes, that is a class where all you do is watch reruns of MASH and then analyze it.
While eating mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I would say that probably checks out as far as like first meaningful interactions, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Because you ended up being my assistant editor on the paper.
Yes.
And I gave you a very unhelpful document on how to use the Photoshop.
I do remember that. It was a Word document that you had hand drawn all the icons for.
It made sense to me, but I don't think it made sense to anybody else.
I figured it out, and now I probably know more about Adobe InDesign than you do.
Yeah, because I haven't used it since high school.
Yeah. What year were you in when you did the cave for the talent show?
What year was I in when I did the cave for the talent show? That's a good question. I think that was junior year.
Okay.
Because I think sophomore year was the only year that I didn't enter the talent show.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. If anybody who listens to this for some reason went to high school with us,
why?
First of all, yikes. Second of all, let us know if you remember. I want to say that was junior year.
Okay, because that's
and doing the cave for the talent show is being very generous in phrasing. I butchered the cave at the talent show and then got second place because they said it was a comedy act, which was somehow worse than not placing at all. Like a bigger fuck you.
I liked it. I thought it was good. And I think that it was a fun time. We probably have different memories. Also, I wasn't the person that had signed up for the talent show. So,
yeah. I 100% signed up for the talent show and was just like, I could learn the cave by then, and then did nothing to learn the cave until like the night before. And it's like, uh-oh. This song's harder than I thought.
I feel like that's my like first high school memory about you.
Yeah, because mass media would have been my senior year. Because you have to be at least a junior to be in that class. So yeah, that checks out.
I think we probably were hanging out during theater stuff, because I started doing tech for shows.
There's a very clear line between tech and actual performers though. So I don't know that we interacted that much.
Yeah. That's fair.
It was like West Side Story.
So
you guys were the Jets. You were the Jets and we were the Sharks, and it was...
Wow, you're...
I don't know.
making some bold something today.
Bold claims.
Proclamations, but...
It's me pretending to be a theater kid and knowing about theater stuff.
Yeah. I'm having like a moment of realization that like things I did in high school are things that I did in college too. Like I went on to do tech for a couple of shows in college.
Yeah.
And then
college is just high school too.
No. And then I did
high
graphic design.
Bowling for soup.
But yeah, we started hanging out a little more consistently. I guess your senior year. I feel like we became pretty fast friends.
Yeah, because if I remember right, I have this thing in my life where it's like my friend group resets like every 5 years. Mm-hmm. And I think that was one of the resets. It was like you, me, another guy in our class named Matt, and then my SO at the time. Yeah, I think that ended up being my friend group my senior year. Mm-hmm. And that's when like we went to... Did we go to see the spook light my senior year and break the top of Matt's car? Do you remember that?
Yeah, for some reason.
Or was I already graduated by then?
For some reason, I think that was my senior year of high school. But I don't know why you would have hung out with me then.
I remember hanging out with you your senior year of high school.
Yeah.
I don't think it happened a lot, but I think there were a couple hangouts. That might have been one of them. Because, yeah, we went to see the spook light, and Matt and I climbed on the roof of his car, and it broke his sunroof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah, I remember that. He was super chill about it.
Well, I think maybe it was because, like, it broke closed, so you couldn't really tell as long as you didn't try to open it.
Yeah.
So I think it might have been one of those things where he was just like, I could pass this off as not being broken.
Yeah, so we definitely did that, and then another memory I have, you and your SO, and then me and my prom date all hung out at a cabin afterward. Like, not a cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
your cabin
where
house.
where I was staying after a tornado.
Yeah. I do remember that because there was a huge ass spider.
It was a cabin in the
prom date.
woods. I don't know what you want from me.
Well, I remember just being like, I'm not doing anything about it. I'm not dying tonight. And your prom date was like, I'll get it.
Yeah. I remember that too. Shockingly, totally sober.
I didn't do anything like that. I mean, this sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but I was 100% serious. I didn't do anything like that till I was actually 21.
There's a little overlap there, bud.
Was there?
Yeah. Not into high school, but you got pretty loose with when your birthday was towards the end there.
I don't remember that, but okay. I trust you.
We can talk about it off air.
No, it's not even that I don't want to talk about it on air. It's just like 100%. It's just like I don't remember drinking before my 21st birthday.
Yeah, you were working at restaurant and you had one of your managers. It literally was like a week before.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that. Okay. It was chill. I only had like 2.
Oh, man. Yeah. No, so like...
Drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly and only if you're 21. Wink.
Yeah. No wink.
You're right, no wink. Wink. But no, so we hung out your senior year, my junior year. And then we definitely stayed in touch, but you're right, I think hangouts lessened quite a bit.
Yeah, and then I think we kind of started hanging out more after my SO and I broke up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember definitely going out to the cabin again to watch Doctor Who.
Yes.
Which was a fun fandom that we were at least adjacent to at the time.
Yes. God, we were nerds. Yeah, I do remember that.
We were.
And then we went to the same college.
Yeah, and then we started hanging out a lot more and getting coffee because we were adults now.
Yes. I would say that my first year of college is probably when we started existing as each other's best friends. If that's not like a too juvenile term.
I feel like you can be an adult with best friends.
But I feel like that's when we really like started like solidifying friendship. Freshman year of college, we attempted to go to Halloween parties.
How did I know that's where you were going to go with this?
Because I feel like it's my first, like, long-form college memory with you.
We didn't attempt. We did go to one, but it was one that everybody else in the world was at, and it was awful.
Because you couldn't get into any of the, like, Greek life parties, which in retrospect was probably good.
Yeah.
At
the time, it was frustrating, but looking back,
it was
thumbs up.
Probably a smart move. Yeah, and like the party street, I think it was like Park Street. It definitely moved
Sounds
around.
familiar. Mm-hmm.
But
it was the street over from Broadway.
yeah. And it was, if I remember correctly, it was like a 2-story house that was packed.
Yeah,
with
like no room to move. And we just kind of made a circle.
We made like a circle. If I remember correctly, we like were all holding hands trying to like work our way through the room.
Mm-hmm.
It was really sad. But I feel like it got wholesome because I feel like we didn't go home until like much later. Like
we spent a long time trying to find a party that we could get into.
And then we did for like a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were probably there for like 10 or 15. Like, we did not last long. Parties were not really our scenes.
I don't think it was 10 or 15 minutes. I think it was like maybe 5 minutes as we made the circle, and we were all just like, I don't like this. Too many people.
But it was you and a bunch of young women who lived on the floor with me. And so I think the real story is you kept an eye on a bunch of young freshmen and made sure that we were safe.
Yeah, I do remember one of them had like a guy that was really into her, and like he came up to me before we went, and he was like, "Hey, if anything happens to her, you're gonna get beat up or something." I'm like, "Okay, this is fun. This is a fun conversation we're having.
This is a good vibe to lay down for the evening." I don't know that you ever told me that.
I don't know that I did, because I was like, this is just weird and I'm not going to think about it right now.
But after wandering for a bit, we made our way back to dorm, and I think we watched Star Trek until...
I think you guys watched something and I was just like, I'm going to go. This was a lot. I need to go take a nap. And by nap, I mean sleep through the night.
But we tried. And then, yeah, I feel like that's when coffee kind of started becoming a regular thing in the student center.
And then I graduated and didn't ring the bell. And then you graduated, and then I rang the bell when you graduated.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which, for context, at the college we went to, you rang the bell. Like, there was a bell on campus, and you rang it when you graduated?
You rang it when you, like, came onto campus as a freshman. And then you ring it again when you graduate.
Yeah. And if you didn't, you die.
But you have a year, apparently. So don't worry.
It's not like immediately. You'll just die eventually.
Yeah, I definitely remember ringing the bell. My sister had brought in, because at the time I still lived on campus, I was, like, in charge. Sorry, previous bosses. I was in charge of, like, a residence hall.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister had snuck, it was literally graduation. I was never gonna go back to campus. Until, I guess, literally next semester when I started grad school. It's fine.
But you didn't live
I was never going to live on campus again. My sister snuck these, like, little mini bottles of wine that I stuck in my freezer.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we had gone to pick up your car, I think, and then, like, drove to I called it my dorm apartment.
Mm-hmm. I want to say for some reason I had made a mixtape that was just Hey Ya on loop for you. And I think we listened to that on the way
That sounds like some ish you would do, yeah. Did we go drink? Like, was the plan for us to go out?
I don't think so.
No, that was my roommate. Okay, so like my roommate graduated the semester before me, and on her graduation night,
we went to see Captain America: Civil War, and then we went to a bar.
Yes.
And I was the DD, and it was stressful.
But we made it. We survived. Yes. Okay. Yeah, and then we went and rang the bell. I remember that you, like, the whole time walking over, you're like, they're not gonna let me. I'm not wearing any graduation gear, so I just put my my emery board on your head. Which I did decorate, because for undergrad you decorate that shit. And it definitely said, well-behaved women don't make history. So, like, bold move to make I mean, like, yeah, it's a college town, but it's still, like, a smaller town in Kansas.
Yeah.
But we stan it. And then we rang the bell. It was a super sweet moment. And then we went back and drank wine slushies. And had our first Kigurumi wine club.
Yeah.
Sweet moments. And then grad school, I feel like it just kind of, like, progressed to where, like, we would, like, hang out more and more, be friends more and more.
Yeah, I definitely remember going to your place you were living in grad school a lot more than where you were living undergrad.
And I feel like it's just, we forgot freshman year when you made me watch Man of Steel. I feel like that was pivotal.
Sorry.
Also, it hurts that was, like, 8 years ago. Like,
oh, that was 8 years ago.
That doesn't feel right.
Yikes.
But
release the Snyder Cut.
No, we have enough Snyder Cuts. But no, yeah, in grad school we definitely started hanging out more and more. And it's just kind of progressed, and now, like, this is kind of the main time that we speak and see each other, but I still consider you my best friend.
Mm-hmm. I think part of that is also the pandemic has made it a little iffy.
For sure.
For, like, in-person hangs.
Yeah. Especially with us living in, like, such different spaces. Things seem to be kind of looking up, though. I'm here for it.
Fingers crossed, yeah. Because, I mean, before the pandemic, I feel like you came to my house, not, like, often, but several times.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been in this pandemic for so long that, like, neither of us have seen the place that we currently reside.
Yeah.
And we've been in these places for a decent amount of time.
I think I'm coming up on a year.
I'm in November, I'll be at 2 years.
But yeah.
Again, that doesn't feel great.
Time is an illusion that makes help things, but I don't know the words.
But yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I like it's kind of fun reminiscing. Mm-hmm. We were good buddies, and then it progressed.
And now we have a podcast.
And now we have a podcast, The Ultimate Test of Friendship Forever.
Yes. Well, not the ultimate test of friendship. That's X-Men Origins Wolverine.
No. No. Matthew and I, at this point now, I've admitted I was wrong, but for a long time I refused. Just for the principle of it. It wasn't that I didn't understand I was wrong. It was that I just doubled down on a bad take and then just never let it go.
Yeah, I think it was the closest we've ever had to, like, a real fight. And it was that, like, when is the movie X-Men Origins Wolverine set?
It's just because I didn't understand when 3 Mile Island happened.
In your defense, I don't remember when it happened anymore, so I don't... I want to say, like, late 80s, early 90s, but I don't know. I also don't know where the asteroid belt is, so...
Yeah. Oh, that was another testament of our friendship, is we took, my first semester at college, we took astronomy together, and Matthew got a better grade than me.
And I think the way I take notes frustrated you.
Yeah.
Because I just draw pictures instead of actually taking notes.
Yeah. I wish that I had learned how to study at a younger age. College would have been different for me.
Same. I feel like that's just how America works.
Yeah.
But we're not going to think about that because that's sad.
But yeah. And honestly, like, looking back, I don't think that I would change anything. Like, happy that I know each other, that we know each other.
Mm-hmm. I would change one thing. The shirt I wore that one time.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you're going to make me watch Man of Steel twice.
No. I would have made you watch Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice.
No, thank you.
But Ryan, Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor for some reason.
Yeah, do you have any... This feels weird to say, but do you have any final thoughts on our friendship?
The cinematography's great. Excellent soundtrack. I feel like the characters could have been developed a little bit, but I mean, that's just... I don't know. I'm so sorry. This is a bad goof.
I'm also realizing that we never talked about the one road trip we took together, but it's fine. I feel like we've mentioned it
I feel
enough.
like we've talked about that enough, yeah. People know that we've been to Colorado together and almost died because a gas station was on fire.
Yeah.
But yeah. 4 more years. 4 more years.
And then that's it.
And then that's it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. The soundtrack is great.
Mm-hmm.
I like the characters. I think they're pretty funny sometimes.
Yeah. I did not enjoy the Matthew arc where he becomes a Super Saiyan, and I don't know. I was trying to think of an anime trope, but I couldn't think of anything.
Yeah.
And that's what we call a bad joke.
You'd think after all this time we would have learned how to do good ones, but no, it's hard.
Nope. We'll take an improv class. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's a little glimpse into our friendship. Hopefully it was a little more coherent than the absolute disaster of our first attempt at recording.
I mean, it's under 2 hours, so I feel like we got that going for us.
We do got that going for us. Yeah, the first one was a mess. But yeah, if you want to hear more about our friendship, why? But thanks.
Yeah, what do you want? Who are you?
Follow us on socials at Rhetorical Magic. Be good to one another. Make good choices. Drink responsibly. Get vaccinated if you haven't at this point. And as we say at the end of every episode, clink!
One of those will be it.
Oh, yeah, we both just, kept doing it. I want you to leave all of them in there. I'm sorry. That would have been a good moment.
It was a pitch perfect wine opening noise.
And we're never gonna get it back.
That's what makes it beautiful. Is the fleeting nature of the...
Wine pouring doesn't sound nice. I'm sure that you're not supposed to pour it to make a sound. Should I have just drank from the bottle?
Oh, that seems like a yikes. Yeah, I'm sure there's a way to pour it without it going like, but I don't know it.